This video is brought to you by Volition. Check it out over at Filmpocalypse Productions.
All right, what is up, Internet? This is Riff Thoughts with Chex, Kyle, and Beetle, and we're here going to be talking about Soul, our game, if you haven't heard of it. And we have some new things we're adding to it. And Beetle, want to start us off with the first thing we're talking about?
Yeah, yo, what's up? All right, so what we're going to be talking about is the trait system that we're going to be implementing into Soul. Basically what this is a system to replace the old stat system. The stats will still be there, but it's going to make the game more interesting and kind of get rid of the sort of scaling system, how it scaled unevenly and different stats didn't do.
It's also kind
effects.
of meant to make up for the fact that there's a lot of math that we had in the old stat system where there was random different scaling because we were just mathematically balancing everything, but it made it very complicated in-game because it meant you had to keep track of everything constantly. And we had entire Google Sheets that existed because of it.
I think another thing it does is it kind of makes like the characters more unique since there's so many different choices you can choose. So you can't be like, oh, well, I mean, Duncan's playing a Nomad and I want to play Nomad. It can make it so you can play a Nomad and still be your own Nomad without just like being like, oh, well, these are the cool abilities. He has the cool abilities. Now you have the cool traits and you guys can switch around traits and make your own guy.
So basically how the trait system works is based on your stats, you gain, like every 5 points, you're going to be able to gain a different trait. These traits are based off of personality traits or physical traits, and they will give you not only a role-playing or something to role-play off of, but they will also give you different bonuses. Like, for instance, there's one called Massive that doubles your character tile. There's Aggressive, which uses more damage. And there's a lot of other like fun things rather than just being, oh, here, have some random numbers.
Yeah, I think like some of the cool things is like you get like a random item and stuff like that, those kinds of ones, or like random consumable, or you get a new item per beginning of combat. I don't remember what these things are specifically called, but it's just some of the like really fun things that keep things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, there's one that gives you like a random ability. I think some of that stuff could just be like a lot of fun to play with. So.
Well, definitely opens up character creation a little bit, so which is kind of what we're aiming for.
Yeah, and the second thing we're going to talk about is the loot system, the loot dice that we're going to be adding. These are just really simple. It's basically going to be 2 dice. Each dice has one dice has the item types, and another dice has the rarity. And basically these dice will be rolled.
So it basically, statistically, it's meant to kind of give it a bit of an even chance for certain items. Like, I believe the way it's going to work, there's a 50% chance a player will just get a normal item, which isn't really that fancy, but it could be something that might need. There's a 33% chance that they'll pick up a rare item, which is usually slightly better, and then there's like a 16% chance that they'll get a legendary item, which is going to be a huge boost. And I'm probably just butchering the math on that, to be completely honest.
And I mean,
I think that's right.
And also with the loot dice, it kind of gives you an item, and this kind of would help out the crafting system that we're also going to be talking about today. With like, you can get you'll get an item that you can just salvage for the looting material. So Kyle, do you want to talk about some of the looting or crafting stuff with the crafting materials?
We actually based crafting a little bit off of, it's kind of similar to a Diablo style approach, but even more simplified, because we looked at a lot of crafting systems and usually they're very complex. Like, I know it's a video game, but Fallout is a great example of a super complex crafting system with a ton of different materials. We thought that it was going to be too complicated because it was a lot of stuff to keep track of, especially because you're going to have to keep track of all of these different cards. So we came up instead with a more simplified crafting system where there's just one kind of material, so to speak, that you can salvage from any item. And then the way you'll do crafting, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Beetle, but you're going to need an equal amount of material as an item's weight, and then you'll need some kind of knowledge of that item. So you either had to have owned it or you have to have some kind of justification for it. Like if you're a Marine class who's trying to build an assault rifle, you know, even if you've never used one, we might allow that. It's going to be at the DM's discretion, basically. But
yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff we're playing around with, but it's not necessarily like nothing's set in stone, but it's kind of just going to be based off of like certain recipes, give you different things.
And it's going to make it easier to get legendaries. Even if you just pick up a bunch of trash normal items that you don't want to use, you can still craft them into a legendary.
Yeah, so the loot dice kind of like pairs well with the new crafting system because it gives you free items almost in a way where you wouldn't have before.
For sure.
It's like Kadala points.
Yay.
Yeah. Whereas normal people will call them blood shards.
Blood shards.
I call them
The
Kadala
currency
points because they're like credit card points. They're imaginary and it takes a lot of them to do anything.
Oh god.
But yeah.
All right, so one thing we want to mention at the end of this video is our sister channel, Filmpocalypse Productions, is going to be coming out with a movie soon, part 1 of a 3-part series, Volition. We filmed it 3 years ago. Kyle and Beetle are finally done editing parts of it. You know, I'm still a little angry. It's not the whole thing. But you know what? Now that we're doing it in a 3-part system, they can get me excited 3 times instead of just 1. So I'm pretty excited for it. There's a trailer over on our channel, Filmpocalypse Productions. Check it out. It's awesome. I joy puked a little. Not in the video, on the video. Just let us know if you like it.
Yeah, we'll have a link in the description and probably an annotation on screen, so that way you guys don't have to do anything. You can be lazy and just click.
Yay.
Thing's fun. I like to click.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like it's Rift, boys. So that's Rift Thoughts. We're gonna be here every other week, almost, filling you guys in on updates on our game Soul, mostly. Maybe some things about Volition, woo, and other things like that. And this is Checker signing off.
Beat signing off.
And Kyle signing off. Peace out, internets.
All right. Peace out. Boop.
Hey internets, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out our sci-fi miniseries Volition over at our sister channel, Filmpocalypse Productions. Part 1 Survivor is releasing July 1st.